Hello. Today I'm gonna rank all of the number one songs of 1958. I got this idea from that guy who does the top 10 worst hit songs of the year. Who does that thing? I think that was a very good video, and I think I don't think I have seen anyone else do this before. So yeah, let's get to the ranking. Number 8. At number 8, I have Tom Dooley by the Kingston Trio. This song is so awfully boring. I went to sleep listening to this song because it's so boring. And it's also so repetitive. It's always Tom, hang down your head, Tom Dooley. And it's just also not a good melody. But also, it's like about a guy getting hanged. So you can't even appreciate it for a calm song. Because it's about someone getting hanged. You can't just listen back and feel like, oh, that's so calming. It's about a guy getting hanged. And also, I don't get, am I supposed to feel bad for the guy or not? Am I supposed to feel bad for Tom Dooley or not? Maybe I would know if I actually listened to the lyrics, but it's so hard to listen to the lyrics because it's just such a boring song. I hate old boring songs. And if I wanted to listen to one of these, it would surely not be about a guy getting hanged. This song is terrible unless you like songs that are boring and about someone getting hanged. Don't listen to this song. It's awful. Number 7. At number 7, I have It's All in the Game by Tommy Edwards. And honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with that song. I just think it's just specifically generated in a lab to be just subjectively not for me. I think last time I talked a bit too much about it. This song is definitely better than Tom Dooley. It's less boring. It doesn't have the same depressing, but somehow still depressing and upbeat melody at the same time, but in a way that it doesn't work at all. It just doesn't jack my brain out and make me go to sleep or something like that. It is not that bad. It's boring because this kind of song, which I call charm songs, I just don't really like. I just don't really like songs that are slow and don't are slow and soft. I don't like songs that are slow and soft. And this is a slow and soft song. And it's also just a generic love song. It's all in the game. That's love, yeah. And that's generic. I don't really like love songs because, one, I am aromantic. So that's probably part of the reason why I don't like love songs. But I also just think that most of them are just very generic. And I hate that every song just has to be a love song. Everything is always about love. And I think it's pointless. There are so many songs that just shouldn't be love songs, but they just are love songs because love songs are successful. And I hate it. But oh well. There's nothing wrong with this song. It's just a generic love song that is generically okay, but just generated in the lab for me to find boring. I feel about it the same way I feel about, well, you don't know how I feel about things, but whatever. Scratch that. But yeah, it's a boring song, not objectively, it's just a boring song to me, and that's why I put it at number 7. The only song that I really think is in any way objectively bad is Tom Dooley, and I don't even think that's objectively bad. But still, I think Tom Dooley still has things objectively wrong about it. Everything else here is just entirely subjective. And Tom Dooley is the only one I would say I actually hate that I would actually ever try to bring down. These are just songs I find uninteresting. The next few places, because this is 1958, and in 1958 a lot of songs were slow and soft, which sucks. Oh well, I probably talked about this song for way too long. Number 6. Oh, that Sean Say Wolf guy always makes like segments where he talks about that thing, and I just want to say Giorgio from Switzerland should have won 1985 Eurovision. Not this song. This song didn't win 1958 Eurovision, but everybody says that it should have. I really do not get why everyone always says that this song should have won 1958 Eurovision. This is Nel Blue di Pinto di Blue, or how most people just call it, Volare, by Domenico Modugno. And again, just like with It's All in the Game, it's not a bad song, it's just not for me. I do not like slow and soft songs, and this is a slow and soft song. But I really think it shouldn't have won 1958 Eurovision, even if you like slow and soft songs, because you could just pick any of the other slow and soft songs. I really do not get why everybody likes this song so much. It's just a slow and soft song, just like all the others. The only thing that kind of makes it special is when the guy screams that the quietest scream ever, and screams "Volare," but it's like the quietest scream ever, and the least grandiose scream in the song ever. The scream sucks, and I really do not get why everybody likes the song so much, unless it's about the lyrics, which I would miss because I don't speak Italian. I really do not get why everybody loves this song so much and says it should have won 1958 Eurovision. In my personal opinion, this is only the 5th best song in 1958 Eurovision. And I think the other songs that I dislike more still work more as what they are. They're still boring love songs, which are slow and soft, but they're trying to be that. They're trying to be a smooth, slow and soft song. I just don't really like that genre that they are. But here, it's clearly at least trying to be a bit more grandiose, but it just fails. So even if you like slow and soft songs, I don't get why you would pick this one as the one that should have won Eurovision 1958. Because any of the other slow and soft songs work better as slow and soft songs. This song fails at being itself, in my opinion, but I don't think it's objectively bad. I just think that no matter what kind of music you like, no matter what kind of music I would like, I would prefer other songs over this. And I don't hate this song, I just don't really want to listen to it because I find it boring and dull. But even if I did like the kind of song that this was, it still wouldn't be that high on my list. You know what I mean? It would be higher. I wouldn't be number 6. It would probably be like number 5 or number 4. But for this year, it isn't. That isn't really. No, I think it would be number 5 if I liked slow and soft songs and didn't like not slow and soft songs. I still think it would still be pretty low The highest it would get, it would be 4th place. Because I think no matter if I like slow and soft songs, I am always gonna hate Tom Dooley. But like, again, this is not a bad song. I don't really think this is a bad song. I just personally dislike hearing it. Because it's a boring, slow and soft song. Which I just don't really like. And it should not have won Eurovision 1958. And I'm glad that it didn't. I dislike the song that did win more, but at least that song kind of succeeded at being what it is, being a boring love song. This is also a boring love song, but it's trying to be more grandiose, but it just fails. So that's why I'm more glad that it didn't win. You know, I initially stopped at that point, but I realized I still wanted to say some things. After reading into it again, it isn't entirely slow and soft. It is a bit faster, but I still think it's really boring. And I think the way he is going volare is very too mediocre and soft. But I also wanted to say one other thing I forgot to say. I hate the fact that this is the only Eurovision song to ever hit #1. They should... Arcade and Snap. I think those are also songs which could have... definitely Arcade. Arcade should have hit #1 in the US. I mean, they did hit #1 in the Netherlands and in some other countries, but it didn't hit #1 in the US, and I think it should have. If Volare can hit #1 in the US, then Arcade can too. Number 5. At number 5, I have Bullet the Floor, and I think this is a good time to say I am in no single way a music critic. I think that objectively, this is probably the worst song. I think Chauncey Wolf or something made a listing of these songs, he would say that this is the worst of the number 1 songs of 1958. Because, firstly, this guy is just an Elvis clone. He even looks exactly like Elvis. Like, look at him. He almost looks exactly like Elvis. It's almost uncanny. And also, he's just, yeah, it's some super generic song. Yeah, but I don't really care about these things. I care how much I enjoy the beat, and also a bit about the lyrics. At first, I was going to put... No, not at first. At first, I was going to put it at number 5. But then I actually changed my mind because the lyrics of this song bothered me a lot. But then I listened to this, and I wanted to put it at 7. But then I listened to it again, and it actually didn't bother me that much this time. And this song is not as boring as as Volare and It's All in the Game to me. And Tom Dooley, of course. And this song's not that boring to me because it's still a slow and soft song, but it's not that slow. It still has like some speedness to it that doesn't make it completely unenjoyable to me, like Tom Dooley and It's All in the Game. Like, I do not enjoy Tom Dooley and It's All in the Game. I kind of enjoy Volare. Volare is definitely better than those two songs, but still, there are slow and soft songs that I don't enjoy listening to, especially It's All in the Game. But that's just a personal thing of mine and just not my music taste. But I think if this was an objective ranking of these songs, this song would be number 7. I don't know anything about music objectivity. One of my most favorite songs is Demons by Imagine Dragons, and a lot of people seem to say that that's a very bad song, and I don't get why, but I want to talk about that. I don't really care about this song. But I also wanted to talk about Elvis Presley because that's the only thing I associate with the song, other than this guy whining about this girl rejecting him. Not maybe just. I think it's supposed to be about a manipulative girl, but because it's made in the 50s, it just kind of sounds a bit sexist. But I don't actually think it's a sexist song, it just kind of sounds sexist because it's a song about how a woman sucks, and also a song in the 50s, and any song like that is gonna kind of sound sexist to me. That's just the way it is. Yeah. But I actually had to say a few more things. I totally forgot to mention that this guy's name is Ricky Nelson. His name is Ricky Nelson. I also just wanted to say that the line about when I met that little girl, I knew I would fall. That was very creepy. But since this guy also looks pretty young and could still be a teenager, he looks like 20 to me, but he could be a bit younger. So this could be about two teenagers falling in love, and then it isn't really that bad. So I'm not gonna put it lower for that. And even if he was older, we could still imagine that he was like writing this song from a perspective of a teenager. And so I'm not gonna put it lower for that. And also he was like, I've broken many hearts too, which makes him very hypocritical in his lyrics, but so maybe I should have put him down more for that. But honestly, I still really like the melody of this one way more. So I'm gonna keep it at 5. Number 4. I watch Sean Say Wolf videos, and at the beginning of all of his videos, it's like, warning, this is not suitable for children under the age of 14. But I'm 13, so I am defying archers. I'm so evil. This has nothing to do with this song. I just wanted to make that joke before I'm 14, and this is the only video that has a chance of getting out before I'm 14. And number 4, I Have to Know Him Is to Love Him by the Teddy Bears. And I think this is a good time to say that I have a very big bias towards female voices. I think female voices sound better than male voices. And this is the only song that hit number 1 in 1985 that had a woman singing it. So this is obviously gonna get plus points because of that. But it's also way less boring than most of the other songs. I think Poor Little Fool maybe could have gone above that song if this wasn't sung by a woman and it was gender swapped. If it was sung by a man, it wasn't gender swapped, it would be gay, which would be awesome. But this is sung by a woman, so it isn't gay. But if it was sung by a man and then gender swapped, it also wouldn't be gay. So it wouldn't be progressive, and this isn't progressive. It's not progressive at all, actually. But it's not unprogressive in a off-putting way, and just in a... she doesn't seem like she is forced to do all these things she does in the song. So like, yeah, it's still a bit of like traditional song in a way that's kind of off-putting to me, but it's not really off-putting. It's just something that I don't really... It just represents... It's just kind of similar to something off-putting. So yeah. But I like this song. I think this song actually sounds pretty good. And yeah, but like, it is nowhere near one of my favorite songs. I don't think this is really a good song either, but it's definitely not a bad song either. Definitely not objectively. I don't know anything about objective music, but like I think this is a better song than a lot of songs made back then. I don't really like the genre that this song is. It's like I don't. This may be pop music, but I think pop music is a stupid term. Pop is not a genre. Pop just says that it's popular, and that should not be counted as a genre. But that aside, I don't really like the kind of music that this music is, like slow music, and also it's also a love song, which I don't not really a fan of. But I still like this way more than the other 4 entries. It also sounds way less slow, and it's way more enjoyable than most of his songs, even aside from the fact that it's a woman singing it, which makes it have a better voice. So yeah. Number 3. And it's only like by Conway Twitty is at number 3 of my ranking. I don't think there's much to say about this song. Out of all the songs that hit number 1 in 1958, this is the only one I knew before I made this list, except for Volare. But I only knew Volare because of Eurovision, because I got really into Eurovision at one point, and only because of that I knew Volare. This is the only one I've heard naturally. And it's just an iconic song. I think it's the only one that's still remembered today. Only number 1 song of 1958 that's still remembered today, except for Volare for some reason, but I have never actually heard anyone play Volare, and I'm pretty sure I've heard this before. Like, and this is the most iconic song of 1958. Like, Volare, who actually thinks about Volare outside of Eurovision and when you listen to it? But this is definitely the most iconic song of 1958. This should have been the number 1 song of 1958, but it wasn't. I think it's really a shame that Tom Dooley prevented the song from getting the number 1 spot for 3 weeks, because it should have charted at number 1 for longer, and Tom Dooley sucks. This song should have charted for longer. This song isn't as boring to me. It's not as slow, and it's also not that soft of a song, so it's way more enjoyable for me to listen to it. And yeah, that's why I put it at number 3. Number 2. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Those songs' lyrics make no sense, like, how I wonder what you are. Firstly, also, like, stars are not little, but also, how I wonder what you are. What do you mean, how I wonder what you are? It's a star. You literally say what it is, and then you say, how I wonder what you are. I guess you could interpret it as, how I wonder what a star is, because I'm, like, 3 years old and don't understand science yet. But then let me explain it to you. It's a giant ball of fire. I don't really think that's that hard to understand. I mean, I know it's technically not fire, but still, it's a giant ball of fire. What do you mean, how I wonder what you are? But this is not about that little star. This is about the love song that uses the children's song, Little Star, called Little Star by the Elegants. And it's the second best one in my opinion, because It is the grooviest song of all of the songs that hit #1 in 1958. It's the best one to dance to. Like, I wouldn't really think I'll ever dance really to any of these songs, but this is the one I'm most likely to actually like dance to because it's the most groovy of them all. It's the most high-paced, not slow, boring song out of them all. The reason I didn't put it at #1 is, one, because this is a love song. I don't really like love songs, and it also uses some children's song, like a popular nursery rhyme, or not nursery rhyme, I mean a popular lullaby, to make a love song, which I think is kind of weird, especially because the original song has nothing to do with love. But the other reason is just because while the other one may be less groovy, dancey, it is still a more interesting song, and it's also not that boring. Like, there's more to the song than how well I can dance to it. To my most favorite songs, most of the time I don't dance. My favorite song is Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish, and I don't dance to that song. I sit down and then listen to that song. Now, that's not what I do with the next song, but I still don't really think I'll ever dance to the next song, which I think I could to this one. Like, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wish you're where you are, or something like that. I can dance to that. It's the most groovy of them all. It's Only Make Believe is the most iconic, and this is the most grooviest, most danciest. It's a generic love song apart from that, so yeah, it's okay from that aspect. But it sounds very good, which cannot be said about, I guess not, they don't sound bad, but they just sound very boring and generic. And I don't have a problem with generic, I just don't like slow and soft songs, and this isn't a slow or soft song. It's a pretty fast song. Wouldn't really say it's grandiose, but I wouldn't call it soft either. I think this is way better than, like, half of this list. I think if you combined the quality, added the sum of the, like, if you made the sum of the quality of the bottom four, you wouldn't even dare to reach the how much better this one is. Like, yeah. #1. At #1, I have the Chipmunks song, or also named Christmas Don't Be Late. Or no. Yeah, Christmas Don't Be Late. I would say that It's Only Make Believe is the most iconic song of 1985. Oh yeah, the Chipmunk song is made by the Chipmunks. Oh, obviously, actually by David Seville, because the Chipmunks aren't real people, or whatever. Well, It's Only Make Believe is the most iconic song. Little Star is the grooviest song. And this is the most interesting song. Listening to this is truly an experience like almost no other. It's a Christmas song, sure, but it's also just like so interesting. It isn't so slow paced and boring. And this is also not a love song. I think every single other song is at least a little bit of a love song, but this song is not a love song. It's just a song about Christmas. And I like that way more. Every song is just some stupid love song like, I love you. And I really hate love songs because they're so overwashed, and almost every song has to, for some stupid reason, be a love song, even though it would be way better if it wasn't. So, yeah, I really like the fact that this is undoubtedly not a love song. I mean, it's also a pretty generic Christmas song, but it's better than a pretty generic love song in my opinion. And I really like the sped up voices. I think it gives it character, and honestly, if it didn't have it, it would just be like, okay for me. But because of the sped up voice, it just sounds so interesting and intriguing, and just it just sounds so different from all the other songs, so distinct, and in a way, it's already kind of good, but when you compare it to everything else, it just gets so much better, because everything else is so samey and so obviously 50s, 1958, like, oh yeah, this boring slow music, but this is just nothing like it at all, because it's a Christmas song. This one is actually memorable. And that's why this is the most interesting song of 1985. In my opinion. The most interesting number one song of 1985. In my opinion. Okay, bye. Oh yeah, almost forgot. I would put, later I thought I would kind of like to want to do this in tiers, like the, I would kind of like to do this in tiers, like my inspiration to do this video in the first place, like Diamond X Studios guy. So yeah, if I didn't do tiers for this video because I already started the video, but like if I ever do anything like this again, I will do tiers, and I would put the song I put in 8th place in F tier. I would place the 7th and 6th place, and 7th and 6th place in D tier, 5th and 4th place in C tier, and 3rd, 2nd place in B tier, and 1st place in A tier. Okay, now bye.